Welcome back to Cars, Costs, and Technology. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this Z06 Day. This is installment number 2 of Z06 Spy photos coming from the Nürburgring in Germany. We've got a whole nother gallery here to look at of actually some new information for the C8 Z06. So earlier today I uploaded a video with some really crisp high detail photos or high resolution photos of the Z06 out in testing. And we looked at some more specifics on a Z06 with what we believe to be the Z07 Performance Package. So some really good photos and gave us a lot of information, but now we've got some additional photos here of an entirely different model out testing, and this is still a C8 Z06, but you can see it looks quite a bit different from what we looked at earlier. That's because this is what we believe to be the base model. So you'll notice right away there's no dive planes on the edges of the front fascia or front splitter. It's not near as pronounced of a front splitter. The wing is gone. We've also got, if you zoom in closer, some smaller brake rotors. I believe these are going to be the standard steel, just slotted rotors versus the big carbon ceramic cross-drilled rotors that we saw with the Z07 package C8 Z06. But you can see here the wing is a lot more of a minimal approach. And again, this sort of ties into, for those of you that are familiar with the C7 Z06, you had a base wing, which is sort of more like this, just more of a lip. Actually, this would probably look closer to the actual Z07 package of the previous generation. But then as you got farther up in the aero stages or the Z07 performance package, you could get a more defined wing with the wicker bill and things like that. But let's look at this gallery. I'm going to show you. So here obviously is a Z07 package, or what we believe to be Z07 package C8. And you can see the more pronounced wing, the dive planes and canards, bigger front splitter. And then if we go back a few photos, you can see no front splitter, no dive planes, and this guy's really getting it around this turn. You can actually see a wheel coming off the ground there. So we've also got some different wheels to look at, so we'll zoom in closer to that here in a second. But just wanted to give you some of my impressions on the appearance of this car, and this shot is actually really cool. You can see some flames coming out of the exhaust here, which, oh man, that's so cool. I cannot wait to see a Z06 in person. You know, whether it be on the track or just revving, spit some flames. That's always something I'd love to see a Corvette do, especially from the factory. That's just insane. But when we look at this wing, I wanted to kind of talk about what we're looking at here. This is, to me, reminds me a lot of what the spoiler options were on the C7 Corvettes. You have the higher edges, and then obviously in the middle there you see a little bit of a dip, just to kind of go with the flow of the body lines of the car for aerodynamics. So far, when I uploaded this photo on Instagram, a lot more people seem to like the low wing option or base wing. I don't even know what we're going to call this yet. Obviously, we don't know the full name of this particular spoiler yet, but people seem to prefer this over the high wing. For me, I'm sort of in between. The Z07 spoiler, or the higher spoiler, is definitely growing on me. I don't hate it anymore, but I do really like how sleek and clean this looks, and again, it reminds me more of a Corvette in the back, actually. Seeing that type of spoiler and those taillights and the quad exhaust in the center, I start to feel a little bit more like familiar territory. I know that sounds odd because obviously it's completely different than the C7, but I think most of you will agree that when we first saw the C8 and the new taillights, the different spoiler options, the exhaust on the corners, it just didn't bring a whole lot of Corvette vibe to the rear end of the car, where this to me looks a lot more like what we've seen in the past. But and definitely take note of these multiple shots with flames coming out of the exhaust. That's just really, really cool. But anyways, so when we're looking closer at some of the other items that we can see on these shots, you've got the new wheel design that we haven't seen yet, or I believe we have actually seen this out in testing once with the heavier camo. These are definitely the best photos we've had so far of these particular wheels. You've also got, again, we can see that these are most likely the smaller steel rotors, does not fill up the entire wheel like the bigger carbon ceramic rotors that we've seen on the other two different photo galleries that we looked through together. And obviously a much less aggressive aero package. Overall, though, I think that this car looks really good. To me, it gives me kind of a McLaren feel or vibe with the less aggressive aero kit on there, maybe like a 570S or somewhere along that line in terms of just the design and layout of the car. I think it looks good, and I'm excited to see what it'll actually look like with all the camo off. And of course, you know, again, we're seeing flames in basically every shot here on these exhaust tips, so just insane. But the biggest selling point of the Z06 is going to be that flat plane crank engine, you know, the sound and the power it's going to produce. So I don't think you're going to be unhappy either way in terms of the aero package you go with. But for me, I'm definitely liking the way that the Z07 package looks. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of that wing, but it's really growing on me, especially in, say, this shot right here, these angles. Just how aggressive that front end is, the way the wing kind of ties in the back end. I'm getting more and more interested in the Z07 package in terms of my personal preference with the Z06. But we've got some more pictures of the Z07 package Z06 as well, which has got the potential carbon fiber or magnesium wheels, you know, the more pronounced front splitter, the dive planes in the front, as well as the big wing on the back. Nothing necessarily new on these shots, but again, some more angles. You can see somebody really putting in some hard laps on the Nürburgring with this car. And again, nothing really new in these shots. We've seen this rear diffuser, that spoiler before. But like I said, I did put a post up on Instagram sort of comparing the higher spoiler with what we believe to be the base spoiler. Let me know in the comments below. What do you prefer? Do you think that the little more minimal spoiler looks better here with the what we believe to be the base model? Or do you like that higher wing on the Z07 package? For me, like I said, I'm sort of in between. I like the sleek look of this new spoiler, and this is the first time we've seen it in pictures out in public. But the higher wing is growing on me as well, with what we believe to be the Z07 package. And then we've got some additional shots here of Z07 C8 with the maybe standard wheels. I don't know. It's possible that the magnesium wheels or potentially carbon fiber wheels that we've been looking at in the other shots are optional. And then you can see that you've got this new pattern here that we haven't seen much of in testing. And then these look really good. I'm sort of torn between these two wheel options, but let me know, do you prefer the 5-spoke magnesium or carbon fiber wheel that we've looked at so far, or these a little bit more intricate wheels? These definitely have a lot cooler design to them in terms of complexity, but this has got to be one of my favorite angles here. You know, when you look at this car, just how aggressive the front end looks, these wheels, that wing, these are some great shots. I'm definitely thankful to have access to these. There's also some videos that have surfaced of the C8 going around the Nürburgring, so I actually shared that on my community tab. If you want to check that out, you can just go to my channel directly and go to the community tab. There's a video that I shared from another channel that actually got some clips of both the base and Z07 C8s out testing on the track, so definitely check that out. Really good footage. But yeah, so you can see here, I want to zoom in a little bit closer. You can tell in these shots how much bigger these carbon ceramic rotors are and the Cup 2 tires, where the other Z06 that we're looking at with the less aggressive aero is going to have smaller steel rotors and probably a more daily driver friendly tire. You know, the Cup 2 tires are great for the track, but not really good for rain, cold temperatures, anything like that. So I would imagine if it's visible here, we'll take a look. No, we're not really able to see the tires on these shots, but this is probably not going to be a Cup 2 tire on this model without the Z07 package or more aggressive aero kit. But anyway, guys, just want to show you these photos. I'll take a second, as usual in these videos, to just kind of scroll through the photos, let you take a look at them for yourself. Let me know in the comments, though, anything that I missed here that we need to discuss. What are your thoughts on probably what we're going to see as the base model or entry-level Z06 without the more aggressive aero and all the options added on? Let me know what you think. I think it looks really good. I'm excited either way. You're still going to get that same sound, most likely similar performance, huge tires in the back. You know, again, that stance is still just completely menacing looking. This car is going to be, it's going to be cool, guys. I hope you're getting as excited as I am. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Look forward to talking with you there, and we will talk next time. Have a great day.